it is hard, but when it is succulent, you discover that it is fleshy. A compound fruit also can be dry or succulent, whether it becomes fleshy or hard. When it is fleshy, it is succulent. When it is hard, it is termed as dry. Now, false fruits can also may also be simple or composite. In a simple false fruit, we have both hard and succulent portion. For instance, what we have in cashew, there is the nut of the cashew and there is the fleshy part. So you eat the fleshy part, then you keep the nuts for other processes. So that's a false fruit, but it's a simple false fruit. Cashew is a simple false fruit because it has both the hard part and the succulent portion. Now, the second group of false fruits is composite fruits, and is formed from several flowers or inflorescence, as we have in pineapple. Pineapple is an example of composite fruit because it's formed from several flowers or inflorescence. Now, dry simple true fruits. Now, we have classified true fruits as being simple or compound. And I said simple fruits can either be dry or fleshy. Now, talking about the dry ones now, the dry simple true fruits may be indehiscent, that is, the fruits may split open to release seeds when they are ripe. There are some fruits that they just open when they are dry. So those fruits are called indehiscent when they open, when they are dry, to release their seed. But some other ones may not open, and we call those ones dehiscent fruits. Indehiscent are those that open when they are dry to release their seed. Simple fruits that are dry may be indehiscent, that is, they do not split open to release seed when they are ripe. Indehiscent, they don't split open to release seed. But dehiscent fruits, they split open to release their seed formed from one carpel. So dehiscent open their fruits to release their seed, but indehiscent do not open their fruit. Also, dry false fruits can also be dehiscent or indehiscent. As dehiscent dry false fruits, as we have in cola. Then indehiscent dry false fruits, as we have in water lily. Now, indehiscent fruits, I said indehiscent fruits are fruits that do not open. They do not split open. And we have 5 groups under that. The first is the acne. Acne is one-seeded fruit with dry pericarp. That's the ovary wall. It is formed from one carpel and the ovary wall is tough. An example of acne is sunflower. The second one is karyosis. In karyosis, the pericarp and the seed coat are fused together, as we have in maize, we have in rice, we have in grasses. So rice is an example of karyosis and indehiscent fruit. It does not split open. Then cella is another type of indehiscent fruit. We have the ovary is inferior. It has one seed. Then the calyx forms an hairy parachute called the pappus. Example, we have it in Tridus procubens, their house. Emilia coccinea is another example of cella. Then lettuce is another example. Then the next one is nut. Nut is a one-seeded fruit with hard and tough shell. A one-seeded fruit with a hard and tough shell, as we have in the cashew nuts. Then the last one under the indehiscent fruit is the samara. Samara has its pericarp, that is the ovary wall, extended to form one or more wings, as we have in combretum and we have in tecoma stans. Now, to the dehiscent fruits, the fruits that open, that split open, we have 4 classes under that. And first is legume. Legume splits open explosively along both sides, as we have in the pride of Barbados, we have in beans, we have in crotalaria. When you see the fruit of pride of Barbados it splits open explosively. You just find the seed all around the plants, the tree. Then the next one is follicle. Follicle is a pad that splits along one edge only. Legume splits along both sides. Follicle splits along one edge, as we have in rose periwinkle and Sodom apple. Then the next one is capsule. Capsule contains two or more seed compartments. Capsule contains two or more seed compartments and splits along several sides, as we have in okra, we have in castor oil, cotton, and in poppy. Now, the last type of dehiscent fruit is the schizocarp. It has several seeded fruits and splits into several parts, each containing a seed, as we have in desmodium and cassia. So that cassia is an example of a schizocarp fruit. A dry false fruit may be drupe or berry. A dry false fruit may be a drupe or a berry. A drupe has its seed contained within a hard pit or stone, as we have in mango. When you take mango, you discover that even though it has a succulent part, but it has a hard pit inside. Mango is an example of a drupe. Oil palm nuts, the nuts that you get your oil from in oil palm, is another example of drupe. Coconut is also another example. Now, it has epicarp and mesocarp, which is juicy, and the endoderm is woody. Epicarp, the external portion, mesocarp, the middle portion, then endocarp is the internal portion, and that is one that is usually woody. Then berry is the second type of dry false fruit, and the whole pericarp is fleshy. In drupe, it has a hard pit inside. It's not all fleshy, but berry has its whole part fleshy and contains many hard seeds buried in it. And we have various examples of berry. We have tomato, pepper is an example of berry, your orange is an example of berry, guava is an example of berry, pawpaw is also another example of berry. Then I want you to note this: fertilization is not necessary for fruit formation in some plants. Some plants don't have to undergo fertilization before they produce their fruits, as we have in banana and in pineapple. And this type of fruit formation, this type of fruits that they produce are called the parthenocarpic fruits. They are often seedless. You don't usually find fruit. Have you seen the seed of pawpaw before? No. And I'm not sure you have seen the seed of banana before. So they are called parthenocarpic fruits. So fertilization does not necessarily happen with fruit formation in some plants such as banana and pineapple, and such bring forth fruit called parthenocarpic fruit, and they are often seedless. Now, fruit and seed dispersal. Dispersal, when we talk about dispersal now, is the scattering of fruit or seed away from the parent to other suitable places to germinate and grow. So when fruits and seed has been scattered away from their from the parent plant to other places that are suitable for them to germinate and grow, it is called the dispersal of fruit or the seed. Now, why is dispersal important? First, it minimizes overcrowding and competition between members of the same species. When there is overcrowding, they compete for space, they compete for food, compete for water, compete for light, compete for everything, and it's usually the survival of the fittest. So dispersal reduces this effect of overcrowding and competition. Then dispersal also prevents the spreading of diseases. When they are just two choked and one of them is infected, because they are together, everyone gets infected. So spread of diseases is reduced or prevented, and the plants stay healthy by the method of dispersal. Also, dispersal reduces the waste of seed. It reduces wastage because it guarantees good chance of survival. They go away from the parent plant, so they go to germinate and replenish the place. Now, another importance of dispersal is that the widespread enables the species to colonize new unexploited habitats. They are able to colonize other places by the time they spread out. So those are the reasons why dispersal is very, very important. We'll be looking at reproductive behaviors. And first under that, we'll be considering courtship behaviors in animals. Courtship behaviors are specialized patterns of behavior that precede mating and reproduction in animals. So the behaviors, any form of behavior that will lead to mating and reproduction in the animal is called courtship behavior. The courtship behaviors are carried out in sequence and alternately performed by male and female organisms. So it's not just left to the male alone or the female alone. So both partners are involved in the courtship behavior, and they are in sequence and alternately. They are performed by both male and the female organism. Then each step acts as a stimulus for the next stage. So since I said there are steps that precede mating, so each of the steps in the behavior acts as a stimulus for the next stage to happen. And courtship behavior takes different forms. We have pairing, display, territoriality, and seasonal migration. So we are looking at 4 courtship behaviors: pairing, display, territoriality, and seasonal migration. First, we're looking at pairing. Pairing is color differences, sound production, and discharge of stimulating chemicals in water that bring both sexes of fish together. So we are looking at fishes now. Pairing in relation to fish, the color differences, that is the attraction of colors that say, oh, this is another color different from mine. Then sound production, and a male organism or female making a particular sound that attracts the opposite sex. Then a discharge of stimulating chemicals which attracts and brings both sexes of fishes together in water.